Hey everybody, I'm JJ Johnson. You're watching Reality Survival. So today what I have for you is a really cool tactical survival bow from Survival Archery Systems. Now I've been wanting to get my hands on this for a while, and Doug down there at SAS, or Survival Archery Systems, he sent this out to have me do a review on it. And I want you guys to know that this is a pretty sweet bow. You've seen from the intro, I've been shooting this for quite a while now, and I'm really pretty impressed with it. It's actually a quite consistent bow. Anytime that I've had issues with not hitting the target, it's been my fault. I find that shooting this bow it seems to do the best when you do it in a instinctive style. When you kind of pull it up, you got the finger tabs, shooting with the finger tabs, and kind of tilt the bow, kind of cant the bow at about 45, pull it back, and then just kind of let it go right when you get back to the end or just slightly after. That seems to offer the best results in as far as accuracy and grouping and that kind of stuff. Let's see, I'll talk a little bit about the bow here real quick. So the bow is 60 inches from tip to tip when it is strung. It comes with a B50 Dacron string, and you need to set the brace height that's the distance from the back side of the bow to the string, at about 7 inches, 7 to 8 inches depending on what your draw length is, but at a 28-inch draw length you want it to be 7 inches. That's what my draw length is. This is a 50-pound bow. Has fiberglass composite limbs on it. You can see that it's stamped on the end with the 50 pounds if you ever see one and you're trying to figure out what weight it is. And it does come with one string knock, and I typically like to put 2 on mine, just to place the arrow in between. That's just a personal preference, but that's what I do. It also comes with the arm guard, the finger tab, and a retaining strap to keep the bow closed when it's in its takedown position. Let's see, let me grab the bag that it comes with. Also comes with this Multicam backpack that the bow and the arrows can fit down into. You can also kind of, it's a carrying case. It's got a pouch. It's got a pouch right here for carrying some accessories. It also has this longer pouch that you can use as a quiver if you were to, throw it over your back in a manner something like this. Then you can just grab the arrows and pull out from them. And that works pretty good. I'm not a super huge fan of these types of quivers, just because when you bend over and stuff, you can have issues with the arrows falling out. But they do work fine. You just have to be cognizant of it, But the construction quality on the case is actually really good. There's no issues with it. I like the multicam color, and it's actually pretty cool. And it's not going to add a lot of weight or anything like that to the bow. The bow itself weighs 2.2 pounds. One of the cool things about this bow is that when it's broken down, it's broken down to 21 inches. So that means that it can actually, fit into most day packs, whereas some of the other survival bows in the market are a little bit longer and they don't actually fit down inside to, like some of the day packs or bug out bags and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool too. As far as construction goes on this, the SAS Tactical Survival Bow has a aerospace grade aluminum riser that, like I said, it's 21 inches when it's completely folded up. It's about 25 inches from here to here once it's assembled. Then you've got some stainless steel retainer bolts that go through here on each side, right here. And then on the other side you have a nylon retaining screw that basically just holds this from slipping out. Now the nylon part is not a weight-bearing part. It's just to hold the main pin in place. The limb retention screws right here, high tension steel. They've got a stainless steel washer underneath them. And this is kind of an important part of the bow, and one that is not necessarily so good on some of the other bows. And that is that if you don't have a properly tightened and tensioned limb retention screw or retention bolt, then you can get some cracking and splitting in these, fiberglass composite limbs. So that's kind of an important issue. Okay, so the arrows that they sell on survival archery systems, the takedown arrows are Easton aluminum XX75 Game Getter 400 arrows. And these are really good arrows. They got a long track record of in archery. I remember shooting XX75 arrows from Easton when I was game getters when I was a kid. And so that's what they've used. That's what they sell on their site. They're about $17.50 per arrow, and of course they break it. They put the insert in there so that you can break it down as well. Yeah, I was going to see if I could fit all 6 in here. It doesn't look like I can. Let me try. It has a couple of end caps that come with it, and the end caps are when the bow for use when the bow is broken down. Then you can take these end caps and you can slide it on there so that the arrows are all sealed up tight. Get a nice fit. Now, unfortunately, you have to take the end caps out whenever you put the bow back together. And, that's a little bit cumbersome, but not that big of a deal. There's one arrow. There's 2 arrows. Three arrows. I don't imagine I'm going to get all of them. Yeah, it looks like 4 is about the max, and that's actually pretty tight. I probably should have only put 3. So it can hold 3 arrows in there. Then you can pop the end caps back on. And then down into its case. And it's all ready to, like I said, you could even carry it as a backpack. It's got straps on here, or you can carry it like that. Or you can just put it down into the backpack. And as you see, it doesn't stick out or anything like that. So that's pretty cool. Okay guys, so overall, I think that this bow is a really, really good deal. I find that the pros on this are that it is extraordinarily heavy duty. It's made to be corrosion resistant, and it is super, super simple and super intuitive to use and to shoot and all those kinds of things. And I think that's really important with a bow that maybe you're not planning on shooting all the time, with. If this is the kind of thing that you're gonna, break it down, put it in your bug out bag and have it when you need it, then it's gonna make it really easy to become proficient with this because it's so simple. I'll put a montage in here of the shots from my very first shots with the bow, and then down to where I started tightening the groups in a little bit. The bow does a nice job shooting, and today I shot all the way out to 20 yards. I shot mostly at 10 and 15, and that is probably the distance that I would feel the most comfortable hunting with this. Now, some people might think that that's a little bit close, but it's something like 80% of all white-tailed deer in North America are shot within 15 yards. So you really don't need to be able to shoot long distances like you might think. But even out to 20 yards on the very first day of shooting it, I was still getting, shots in the kill zone. So it's not like you can't shoot it further. I mean, this is, the first day and first few hours that I'm shooting it. I'm sure over time, if I was to put it into it, I could probably shoot it 30 yards or so. That's, distances that I've shot other bows that are, kind of equivalent or similar to this. So it would just take a little bit of practice. But right out of the box, 15, 20 yards, no problem at all, which is really cool. Let's see here. So I guess the main thing, like I said, that I like about it is durability. Twang and Bang, he did a review on it, and he ran over it with his pickup truck. He had it down in the closed down position, and he ran over it, and I'm like, dude, that's crazy. I'm not going to run over a bow. But it goes to show you that when it's in the closed position, you're not going to hurt it. When it's in your backpack, if you're moving it around, you're shuffling it around, all that kind of stuff, it's not going to hurt at all. It's definitely going to be tough. Let's see. Ease of shooting, durability, corrosion resistance, the fact that it packs down into a small package, I really like that. It's got plenty of power. It shoots at about 200 feet per second with the 50-pound limbs. That's what I'm shooting today. I would imagine if you were shooting carbon arrows, you're probably going to bump that up to about 225 or so. I don't really know for sure, but that's just my sneaking suspicion. More than adequate to kill white-tailed deer for sure. You could kill hogs with this. You could kill just about anything. I don't know if I'd go moose hunting or not, but Doug, the guy from Survival Archery Systems, he killed a wildebeest with it. So, I mean, if you can kill a wildebeest with it, you can kill just about anything with this thing. So, that's pretty cool. It's got plenty of power. That's not going to be an issue at all. The price on this is pretty good. With 6 arrows, if you were to buy 6 arrows, and the entire package that I got here, it would be about $300, $307, something like that. With just the bow, without getting the arrows, the bow, the bag, the arm guard, the shooting tab, carrying case, and a string knock, and the arrow rest. It has one of the bow or the bear arrow rests on it. See if you can see that. Just kind of sticks on. It's $199.95, so not bad at all. Now, when you're setting this thing up, like I said, you want to do it about a 7-inch brace height to start out with. You want to put the arrow rest a 1/2 inch above the grip tape. You've got grip tape right here, and then you want to put the nocks basically straight out 90 degrees from there. At least that's what they recommend. That's how I set it up today, and it seemed to shoot fine. Some long bows like to have the arrow about 5/8 of an inch or so, 1/2 inch up from center, but this one seems to do fine. Now you may also notice that there is no cutout on the riser, so you do get a little bit of the archer's paradox, and that is basically where the arrow is not shooting directly straight. It's shooting just a touch off to the side because of the width of the riser. I want to say it's like 12.5 millimeters or something like that. Now, was that a problem for me? No, not at all. I would say after the 3rd group that I shot, it didn't even bother me anymore. As the way that I shoot these, I kind of cant the bow to the side and then pull back and look kind of down the arrow. So it doesn't really affect it at all. It really doesn't have any issues with it. What else can I say about this thing? This is also a great bow to start young shooters with. A, because of its durability. B, because you can, with the draw lengths on this thing, you can basically be any draw length up to 31 inches. So a younger shooter who doesn't have as long of a draw length, you know, this bow is not going to be a 50-pound bow for them. It's going to be maybe 30 or 35, depending on where their length is. So they can shoot this bow, and, you know, say they start shooting it when they're 10 or 12 years old or something like that, and they can grow into it and still be able to shoot it as an adult. So that's pretty cool, and it's going to last that long. I mean, there's no question about that. The bow is made to last, and it'll definitely last that long. So I think that's pretty cool. So I guess the other thing is that a lot of you guys in my audience will want to know is, what do I think about whether or not this is a good bow to carry in a bug out bag? And I think it absolutely is. You're looking at about 2.2 pounds when it's strung. If you had some other arrows in there, you know, you might, maybe if you had carried six arrows or so, you're probably adding about a pound. So you look at about 3 pounds of weight, and the capability that gives you in a bug out bag is a huge capability, because if you're going, and that's to say if you're going to a wilderness survival type situation, bug out location, where you're going to need to hunt and that kind of stuff, and you don't necessarily want to be hunting with a firearm, because that's going to be letting other people know where you're at. It's also wasting your ammo, all that kind of stuff. I've used, I bought 24 carbon arrows, I think 6 years ago, and I've still got like 20 of them. You know, so, and I shoot archery quite a bit. You know, I hunt with it, I go out and do 3D archery, all that kind of stuff. The great thing about arrows that has the advantage over arrows over bullets is not only that they're silent or next to silent, it's also that you can reuse them and you can re-find them even if you miss your target. It may take a little time for you searching through the weeds and all that kind of stuff, but it's there and it's easy to find. So that is a huge advantage over a rifle and having to carry a bunch of ammunition and all that kind of stuff. I mean, even with just 6 arrows, you know, you could kill multiple animals over and over and over again with that. If you know, one of the issues that you may run into with that is having a few extra broadheads or something like that, because usually the broadhead is what gets torn up, if anything. But that's easy enough. You know, that's hardly anything in terms of weight and that kind of stuff, you know, when you're adding to your pack. So overall, I think this is absolutely a very good potential item, depending on your bug out situation, that you may want to, you know, put something like this in your bug out bags. But anyway, guys, head on over to survivalarcherysystems.com and check them out. You know, they've got several different videos on there. There's a few different review videos. I think Chris from Prepared Mind 101 did a review. Twang and Bang's done a review. Let's see. Oh, Canadian Prepper did a review. I mean, there's several guys. Nature Reliance School or something like that did another review. There's been several guys that have done reviews on these, and you know, they're a pretty decent bow. I mean, I really think that they're worth the money. It's not gimmicky. It's not junk. It's very solid in your hand. One last thing I'll go back into is the ergonomics of it and shooting it. Like I said, I've been shooting it for several hours today. I don't notice anything on my hand. It's totally comfortable for me to shoot. Doesn't bug me at all. And some other people, you know, said that they didn't care for the way that it felt, but I really don't notice it at all. I mean, if you're shooting it right, you're not really gripping hard or hardly at all with your front hand. Basically, what you're doing is you're putting the most of the weight right here across your hand, and as you can see, it's a nice wide surface for that. So, you know, it really doesn't bug me one little bit. But that is pretty much it. Doug has come up with 8 critical aspects to a sort of survival bow, and you can check that out on his website, survivalarcherysystems.com. He talks about all the things that he thinks are important for a survival bow to have in it. I'd recommend you guys take a look at that list before buying this one or any other one, because it actually brings up some great points. But I think this one would definitely serve you well. And the one last thing that's really cool is it is actually made in the United States now. They used to be made in South Africa, I believe, and now they are actually made in the United States. So you're supporting United States-based companies as well. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, guys, as always, I definitely appreciate it when you click the thumbs up button, when you share it with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. And don't forget to live the 6 Ps. Proper prior preparation prevents poor performance. Stay safe, guys.